call to order the December 18th Corcoran Parks and Trails Commission. We'll start with roll call. Christensen here.
Erzberger here.
Anderson here.
Nybo here.
Schmidt here.
Great. And then I invite everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Any comments or changes to the agenda? All right, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second, Anderson.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting minutes from last time. Any comments, questions?
You can be critical. Seth's not here.
I did look them over. They look fine to me. Move we approve the minutes.
Second.
All right, we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, minutes approved. Moving on, no public comment. And new business, wayfinding outline policy guidance. Any presentation for us?
I do. If you're okay with that.
I'd love it.
Thank you. All right, good evening, Commission. I am here to talk about something that we have talked about in the past. And I do have some supplemental information, or supplemental pictures and blasts from the past, if you will, from a previous agenda packet where I think it was back when Brad was here, so that had to have been at least 4 or 5 years. That was a previous city administrator.
Brad.
Brad Martins, if you recall.
Where did he go?
Shoreview.
Is he still there?
Yes. And he seems very happy.
Oh, good.
But
still regrets it.
obviously, he is sad to be away from this specific Parks and Trails Commission, I'm sure. We do have some examples from back in the day. I don't know if they're all still signs that exist, but we can definitely look at those as well if that's something that interests you. They're not in this slideshow, but I can certainly pull them up pretty quick. So we are looking at a wayfinding outline and policy guidance. I did not specifically put together a full policy because there are some things that I need to know from you all on what the vision is before I can really put that into words. So a little background on how we got here, and yes, we have transitions on the slideshow. November 25th, so not the last council meeting, but the one prior, council directed staff to start preparing a wayfinding policy. This is being kind of triggered by the fact that now we have Heritage Park that doesn't have the same name that it had, that could also use a sign update anyways. So now is the time to start really honing in on what does that look like. Following that, today you are obviously here as the Parks and Trails Commission. I'm hoping that you can provide me some of your input and thoughts on just the areas that I had laid out in the draft policy, if you will. I've got considerations in there and I've got questions that are kind of specific to help guide that policy development. So then on January 15th, ideally I would like to come back, have you guys review it again, provide another feedback opportunity, and then bring it to council in February or March, depending on how it all goes, if we needed another time or something like that. So an overview of the policy, we've got the purpose and the scope. So purpose is to establish a consistent, cohesive signage system for the park. This includes monument signs, regulatory signs, directional and wayfinding signs, and then interpretive signs. I know that can be kind of confusing that we're developing a wayfinding policy, and wayfinding is one of the types of signs. So I'm trying to really focus on directional. Design, this would remain kind of as a placeholder to be worked with through HKGI. I am not a graphic designer, so I don't think you want me making your signs from scratch. That said, I can help create the words, and I can help get that to where it can be reviewed by HKGI, and then ideally we would get their help to finish out the policy so that it meets standards that are usually set, and they can help design whatever the sign is that you guys are kind of envisioning, or signs plural. Implementation, currently we have 2 existing parks that I could see this being implemented pretty immediately. One being Heritage Park, as previously mentioned, and then Wildflower Park, dependent on the feedback tonight.
Can you go through those different sign types?
You
Monument.
betcha.
Excellent. Well, there they are.
So,
You guys so quickly.
you know, it's the transitions. So sign types, monument signs, those are gonna serve as the primary identity element. So that's the sign that's gonna have your park name on it. That's gonna be your wildflower park, your heritage park. We can only have one per parcel, which would give Heritage Park 2, because there are 2 parcels. Something to note. And then regulatory signs, those are gonna be your rule signs. We recently went through those, I don't have the exact date. We went through the design of them, we went through what should be included. It was really just to make sure that people were picking up their dog feces. If you recall, that was kind of the big push. Directional and wayfinding, this is to guide users to amenities such as pavilions, fields, playgrounds, trailheads, what have you. It's kind of your maps to provide that direction. And then the final one is interpretive. So this would convey your environmental, cultural, historical, and memorial information. So we have talked about signage to describe plants in the area before. We've talked about signs that would elaborate on why a park might have gotten its name or other factors that are important to the heritage, if you will. As far as questions and feedback go, I've got 2 slides that kind of break it down by type of sign. These were included in your packet. These are kind of my main focus points right now so that I can really get an idea of where you want to go with this. And then from there, like I said, bring it back in January, get more thoughts. If that's not meeting what you guys are looking for, then we can reevaluate and kind of shift. But we figured this would be a good place to start.
Sorry about that.
All good. Well, should we let Commissioner Walsh get settled a little bit? This is not something where I need a motion. This is really just, I need direction, because I could go many a way with this sign policy, and I'd rather know what you're looking for. So, first question, monument signs, and like I said, this is kind of the big push right now, so there's gonna be more focus on this, and if we have to hone in on other stuff later, we certainly can.
So at Heritage Park, 2 parcels, meaning because there's 2 entrances?
2 parcels because it's 2 parcels of land. So we've got that eastern piece of land and then the
Who says we can only have 1 sign then?
code.
1 sign per parcel.
Correct. But to be fair, there are really only 2 entrances there
But
anyways.
is there one, the
there's
10
the-
one will still be there?
The 10 and then there are 2 on 50 with the warming
Okay.
house rink, so
We went through this with City Park before. I think it's imperative to have the address on there, and those are 2 different addresses. So if there's an emergency, they know where to find them. Which I also agree with an address possibly being on the wildflower or anything. Because if you're in a panic moment, they're saying, where are you? You know, at least the sign is there.
mhm.
But we had 2, there are 2 different addresses over there. County Road 10 and the County Road 50 address.
And not to add to the confusion, but now the building address is going to be 20400. The address of the park land on the west side is 20200. So it's the difference of 200,
Mm-hmm.
and that can be confusing.
Can we just pick one?
But which
It doesn't
one
need to.
would a County Road 10, meaning over on County Road 50, you'd have 2 addresses there, technically?
Yes,
Okay.
like in that main lot.
And it was what, 202?
202 and 204.
Okay. But you'd be using the same entrance,
Yes,
technically?
yes.
Whereas, you know, back when the parks before were like, you know, they could be up on the playground, and now they're pulling in over here in this other parking lot in an emergency. So, even if we just had an address over there, I guess, you know.
Well, that
Oh.
helps to answer my 4th question
Ooh,
on
Val
the
jumped the
monument
gun,
sign.
huh?
Huh?
Val jumped the gun, huh?
I love it. No, so it sounds like there might still be intention to have the address, logo, and park name on the monument signs. Are there other things that you're looking to include?
What'd you say, the park name? The
The
address?
address, the logo, and the park name.
sort of a technical issue, but at Heritage Park, people will be driving past those signs at 50 or 60 miles an hour. For Wildflower Park, it's at hopefully only 15 or 20 miles an hour. And so it seems to me that the monuments can look substantially different, just because one is in a neighborhood and people aren't moving as fast as the other. So
Is that smaller in size? Is that different material?
I think mine, I don't know that I have a real good reason for it, but I think a neighborhood park should have a neighborhood kind of monument.
I would agree, you can have more of a grand monument for like the
Yeah.
city park, right? You certainly have a bigger, I would vote for them kind of being similar in theme.
Style.
Style,
Yeah.
but you'd have a scaled one for a city park, or even like the open space park, I think would be somewhere maybe even in the middle, depending on the size of it.
I think if there's some consistency, people realize it's actually a city park
City,
and
yes.
not a neighborhood park.
Yes.
It is open to anybody.
Yeah, has the city logo on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If the style's kind of similar, you know.
And I would be, I mean, stuff, I don't know how big these monuments are gonna be, but if it has an overall map depicted and maybe even this artwork that could be unique to each park, like a wildflower, for the heritage has something else on there. Like if we're talking about layout and space, it might be nice to allow for like park-specific iconry, each of those monument ones.
Okay.
It'd be nice if there, to me, it'd be nice if there's somehow you could look at it right away and see the theme of the park or something.
So it sounds like I'm getting kind of too, oh, go ahead.
Oh, wait, no. I was just gonna summarize for you what I heard too, but
I
I
was
think
gonna
you're
say, I'm
better at
getting
that.
kind of two
Yeah,
sides of it. I'm hearing we want it to be scaled in size, maybe for the neighborhood parks a little smaller, but still cohesive in that it's meeting kind of the same aesthetic,
Mhm.
but maybe incorporating some sort of, I don't want to say personal touch, but
with the name.
some
yeah,
sort of,
Something that's real local. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, wildflower, it's easy because you can come up with a wildflower, but like a bellwether.
We haven't picked
Or
a
a
name yet.
heritage.
It's really,
Yeah.
We can, we'll
Just
name it
pick
something.
some
How do you
flowers.
display a heritage?
Well, it could be even a picture of like a barn, like you could,
Sure.
just thinking,
I like the idea of the map, but I'm not sure if that necessarily goes on the monument sign.
I'd like to keep the monuments as clean as possible.
Mhm.
Like it's just, here's
Just
the name
naming
of the
it.
park, here's where you are, and then you can look at the smaller signs.
I
like
think the
rules
map
and
comes under your
wayfinding.
directional or whatever you
The
call it,
wayfinding.
right?
Yep.
Or putting that
That'll
at
be
the
on the
park
next slide.
building would be, I think, really
It'll be
helpful.
on the next slide.
Look at you. I'll help you.
but you like,
Just jump in again?
but like, Wildflower Park, I don't know if you really would want more than one,
Well, you're playing.
like a monument sign and another sign to map out.
Can they be double-sided, as
Well, you
in,
wouldn't have
like,
wayfinding signs.
if it says wildflower on both sides of the monument sign?
Potentially, I would think so, depending on who we went with for a vendor.
Sure, because I think my family, we've frequented Wildflower more recently since our daughter is now old enough to run around it. But I think having that sign facing, I forget which road that is, but coming off of 116 and into the park, I think you probably want it facing that way. Whereas, the neighborhood and everyone else who frequents the park from the neighborhood probably doesn't require it as much.
So,
They
yeah,
probably
But having it
don't
on both sides, I think, would be helpful.
I think you probably double your cost, because you're basically having two signs.
I
that are gonna
But
be
you are
great or
keeping it
something.
within the one sign rule, I would assume.
Yeah, that's true, yeah, you're
That's
following the
not-
rules. Good for you.
I wonder if we could maybe find a compromise of like, what if it said Wildflower Park on one side and had the address on the back? That way what's facing outward towards the street would tell you the park, and that it's a city park, but then towards the location of the actual park, because that's probably where you're standing for the address.
Yep.
Otherwise, I don't think it'd be an issue putting it on the front either, and just like smaller font.
I
I
think
know the
Heritage
city-
needs the address on them,
Yes.
but yeah, I think that's a good idea for wildflower.
So let's see. Sounds like yes, monument signs should look different.
Should look different. And
I'm sorry, I'm reading off the slide, should look different between community parks and neighborhood parks. So just kind of scaled down like we had discussed. Doesn't sound like necessarily different materials.
And style.
Similar style,
Same font,
aesthetic,
same colors.
sounds good. And it sounds like there still is intention to have the address, logo, and park name. Perfect. Moving on to regulatory signs, in your packet and on the screen, that's rule sign. There are some at Heritage Park and Wildflower Park.
There are there.
Yep, they've been up there for a while.
So I'm trying not to change it too much.
Ideally, we don't. I mean, we recently reviewed it, so I figured it wouldn't have a lot of big thoughts, but if you do, we can certainly discuss it. I made this, so this is why you don't want me designing your monument sign. A rule sign is one thing. Clear, concise,
Looks like it
not
does what it's
intended to be
supposed do.
pretty.
Yeah. I remember beating up that list before.
Yeah,
Yep.
we did. We spent a lot of time on that. Yeah.
We changed to more of a sans serif font. I'm joking. Just I have no idea what that is. But it looks good.
We can sure try. Would you like me to bring that to council?
Do you have any, do we need to talk about rules of where those go? Like, does this go in every entrance then? Is that part of the, what will be in our standard?
So I've got it down as high traffic areas. So that can be determined, I think, over the course of time too. Like if we're starting to notice people are letting their dogs go to the bathroom somewhere and not picking it up in a certain area, yeah, that'd probably be means to add a new sign. But right now we've got them kind of in the areas that are most used
Okay. I picture.
without trying to clutter.
Yeah, I picture like the open space park in that community. It'd be nice to have it like, and the entrances to it, so different people come from other areas to see it before you're inside.
Good on that one? Perfect, unless we need to change the font, I heard. Directional and wayfinding, so my big question tonight, what is kind of the vision for if we do a map? Do you want a graphic style? Do you want more of that aerial image? I don't even know if there's a mixture between the two. Like, I mean, it wouldn't have to be so cartoony with the graphic style. We use that more internally and for soccer programming and baseball and such. And it would have to change now anyways. So now is a good time if we want to update that and do something like that.
Do we have examples of maps on signs at other parks?
No, because I figured these were maps.
I like the ones that are really more cartoony, not cartoony, but like there's only the
Yeah,
key stuff.
yeah.
Pretty
Like,
basic.
almo-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, like I would say something that's in between those two is like what
Yeah.
you showed us when we were looking at the park planning, like what the
Yes.
HKGI,
yeah,
like a concept plan, kind of the
concept plan,
beginning
kind of where it
phases when
kind of
they
looks
had
more realistic, but it's,
illustrative,
Yeah.
illustrative, that's what they
yeah,
call it.
there you go.
So more of the illustrative. They don't say illustrative. Yes,
Yeah. Is that what you're thinking?
yes.
Trying to
If
just,
you can see it, I don't know.
oh, yeah.
It's
mhm.
more graphical than the graphic style, but less real in the aerial.
Yeah,
I don't feel like the aerial is as inviting and
No.
friendly
yeah.
for what a park is kind of intended to be.
It's not easy for everyone to read.
And this would just be for heritage, like we don't need them for
Correct.
neighborhood or anything like that.
Well, so then the other question would be, is this for community parks? So that would be your heritage park, your open space parks, athletic complexes, things of that nature, the bigger size, which I think it would be beneficial in something like the Northeast Open Space Park that is getting a boardwalk developed currently.
Yeah.
We're all familiar with which one it is. Okay.
Is that the one that goes to the woods?
Yes, that's the one with the trail loop through the woods.
Over by Bellwether,
Yes.
correct? Okay, come on.
Yes.
She's trying not to say.
I know she was, but boy, come on. Help Val here.
I tried the Northeast.
Oh, no, that's okay.
That is one where I could see it being beneficial to have
Yeah.
another map,
Yeah.
because you do have legs that offshoot of that trail. And so that would be one where you might wanna consider more
agree.
description.
Or a very simple loop and entrance depiction. Doesn't have to be a, yeah.
So, I mean,
maybe leave it optional for open space and community parks.
Yeah.
I think anything with, some sort of, especially athletic fields, it makes sense to have a map or a
Right,
direction. Or, something very simple if it's a large space, but not necessarily a lot going on. So if, there's a couple trail entrances and things like that to point out. But, I think like Wildflower Park doesn't need a map.
You
It's all
can,
right
you
there.
can see it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
would
think
have
that
been surprised if you guys wanted that, but I wouldn't turn you down.
the Wildflower Park, the only weird part of the park like that is you don't really, people that aren't familiar don't know where the park starts and stops. So that's why it's interesting to put like maybe rules or some way of saying like this is the start of the city's park. Even like that one where the trail goes off all the way on this way and that's all part of the park, but no one has even any idea that's part of the park.
I wonder, would an alternative to that be, as we explore interpretive signs later,
Yeah.
maybe looking at bulletin boards under that category? And then that way you can kind of include, not necessarily a big sign, but like we have a map at Heritage Park, generally when it's not under construction, that has a map of the park. It's got other information in it as well, but at least that way, like, we can kind of give an idea without committing to a full sign.
Well, the other way I would put it is I would like to have, I would recommend some type of sign at each entrance. It could be a rule sign, it could be a wayfinding sign, or it could be a interpretive sign. I think any of those would satisfy my, like, people knowing where the park starts. So
Okay.
I wouldn't put a strict, I wouldn't say like, has to be this type of sign, but it'd be nice if each kind of general entrance had one of these signs, and maybe,
I'm even thinking the trail that goes along the park playground at Wildflower, it's kind of hard to tell where that boundary is on the other side of either of the trail.
Yeah.
So, trying to think how we could kind of facilitate educating people,
yeah, so I said, I think any sign,
maybe just like a rule sign or
Yeah.
something.
Say, I think it'd be a good, it'd be a good place for a rule sign, because if they're entering the park, they should know so that they can abide by the rules.
We would hope. All right, so it sounds like illustrative for the directional and wayfinding. As I said, interpretive, I've got a placeholder for now. I hope that's okay. With the priority of the other ones and some of the other things going on, this one just seems like it might be able to wait for a little bit. But then we address it in maybe late 2026.
Yeah, not a problem.
Are there any additional considerations you want to tell me to add? Anything that really is digging at your brain that I might forget? And if there are things, you can certainly email me after the fact. This is not the end-all be-all. Happy to take suggestions after this.
so the one I thought, or kind of got brought up before was like funneling signs. So like, not signs at the park, but signs on the main roads that direct to the park. That might be, I don't know if that quite fits into this standard, but I would be nice to consider if that's something we want to cover. So,
maybe under directional.
Yeah.
I got the hiccups.
Are you thinking like over by, like off of 116 and Gleason Parkway, that would take you down into Wildflower?
yeah, or it would just be an
Something like
area,
that?
Line Art Gleason would say Wildflower Park,
Or
this,
city-
a
yeah.
simple thing, maybe it's on a street sign just below it, or, what does that
Right,
look
or
like?
some just say City Park.
Yeah, yeah,
meaning
yeah.
it's a city park down here.
But again, the idea of people knowing there's a park there that's open
Yeah.
to the city and it's not a,
We said maybe just go on the street sign, a green thing below
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And
Some cities, or I don't know if it's state specific, but, or it's up to the cities, but some cities will have, say, like a brown sign for something that is of public interest, a museum or park, whatever, and then you have the green for the street signs.
Exactly.
are we looking for that with both neighborhood parks and community parks?
Yeah, like I said, or it could be, isn't it activities blue or something like that? With the
Right,
different
yeah.
color though on the street
West
sign,
side or
just
something.
below it, just saying there's a park down here.
I feel like I've seen a lot of parks brown.
Yes.
Brown?
Yeah.
There you go.
People would
I picked wrong
I
color.
think that would be helpful, especially until we get to a point where these, say, the parks are easier to find via GPS directions, right? Like Wildflower Park's actually kind of tough if you're just Googling it.
Yep.
Heritage Park might be, considering there's another Heritage Park in somewhat close proximity. It might, I think, be quite helpful to have sort of those directional signs saying, hey, it's this way.
I will note, part of the reason I would push for the address to be on the signs, had you guys not mentioned it, is that reason.
Mhm.
When people call 911, it gets routed to Hennepin County Dispatch. And with having other parks that might have similar names, even now and in the future, I mean, there could be an instance, there are many names out there for parks. We might overlap again. That said, let's make sure that they know what Wildflower Park, what Heritage Park, like, if there's an emergency, I'm hoping that people can get there with the information we provide. Is that a fair
Yeah.
vision? Wonderful.
I had one more comment.
Go ahead.
Is there any allowance we need for like when Three Rivers puts their trail through, that it may or may not comply to what we're laying out when a new trail comes through?
I wonder if maybe in here I note that this is regarding city-placed signage? Because Three Rivers does have their own specified
Yeah.
level of signage. So I would say we don't want to limit it, that they can't put those in,
Yeah.
right? But
That's what
I think this would specify, like, this is for us. Okay.
Is the monument one a problem with them? Do we need one?
What do you mean? Like, is our monument sign a problem with them?
If we have one monument sign at City Park, but they're probably gonna want something similar for like an entrance.
Here's the nice thing, the conversations that have been had are that the warming house parking lot would eventually become the trailhead. So
Right.
that would be the one parking lot that we wouldn't have a monument sign for.
We put a trailhead.
They have discussed putting a trailhead and sign, like their highest level, in that location. So I think we would be good there. Did you catch that part?
No, because I'm trying to figure out my computer.
No, fair enough. Three Rivers coming in to do their trailhead sign
At Heritage?
would likely be in the warming house parking lot. So to your point earlier about like, if we can only have two signs, they would eventually take that over as a trailhead is kind of the intention of now. So we would have a sign there, it just would be Three Rivers. And then we still have the signs at 10 and 50.
As long as they got addresses on them in case they, so you know where to go.
Val just wants addresses.
That's my UPS coming out in me, you know? I save boxes too, so.
That's helpful this time of year when you're wrapping.
That's right.
All right. Do you mind if I do one more overview for the record? So that minutes are easier for our friend. So it sounds like name, logo, address, keep those on the signs. Illustrative for directional wayfinding maps. Grander monuments at community parks such as Heritage Park and open space parks, scaled in size for neighborhood parks. Still similar aesthetic, just scaled. And then directional signs, exploring putting those on streets to get to the parks. City signs, this is specific to city signs, not necessarily applicable to Three Rivers. Did I miss any other notes? And potentially a double-sided monument name, or not monument sign. Super. This will be more helpful than I think you understand.
I have another, I think all of our signs, well, everything but the monument signs should be sort of QR code ready or in, as a part of it. So that we've got, we worked really hard to make our set of rules really simple, but our QR code would link to the long list of rules, just as a way of providing some extra information for people who are concerned. And if we've got some maps, the QR code could link to a more detailed map that
Where you can zoom.
where you can zoom in and out. Might as well just include that right there.
are we looking to redo the roll signs then, actually now? Or is this like as we produce new ones?
I would say.
Okay. Well, because then you could have gotten your font
That's
changed.
true. Yeah.
I kid. All right, any other thoughts? That was really efficient, thank you, team.
Good. All right, we can move on to reports and information, planning project update. Is there any updates you're aware of that we should be aware of?
Yeah, that's gonna come in the Parks, Recreation, and Trails update. Those are the ones I'm aware of.
Gotcha.
Looking at these, honestly, I don't think I've really heard a lot about any of them. So, I mean, I could certainly take any questions and bring them back to the team, but I don't know that I will be a wealth of information for you tonight.
How long has this winery one been on there? Because the first time I noticed it, I think, was earlier today.
Oh, like August.
The M&J
At
Creekside Interim Use.
least August, I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Definitely since October 23rd.
Right.
Yeah, I saw it before
Yeah.
that.
Like, oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Parks, Recreation, Trails update.
All right.
See, oh, that's a nice font. I don't know what that is, but
This one?
yeah.
You like that? Okay, noted.
Yeah, more of that.
I think it's called Forum. All right, so park planning, Val noted earlier about the building. So this is actually a photo of the building in the middle from, I want to say earlier this week. Since then, even more has been done to it. I just did not get a chance to go out there to take a photo of it today. In addition to that, partial playground installation. So we have two kind of installs of the playground scheduled, and this has been planned from the beginning for the most part. The custom stuff won't be here until the spring, which is actually great because that's what's eligible as part of the outdoor recreation grant, because we haven't installed it yet. The stuff that is currently installed, I think I told you guys, is not eligible. But doesn't it look so pretty?
It's really cool.
So the playground will finish getting installed in the spring. Like I said, the park building has started to really take its shape. It's been so cool to watch. And then we also have a parking lot and trail paving mostly completed. A wear course is going to be needed for in the spring. But how exciting! And obviously that bottom photo on the right is not from today.
Or even yesterday.
Or, yeah.
Cool.
We also had the holiday toy and food drive. How fun, how cute, how festive. I do think it's important to brag about this because this is an incredible feat from the community. I mean, non-perishables, over a ton. 2,000 pounds.
How'd you get them over there?
They picked them up.
Did they?
Absolutely.
Sweet.
We work very well with Cross. They come on out, they pick everything up, they take it back. I did bring over 60 pounds that were dropped off a little late, but other than that, I was happy to do it because it brought us over the 2,000 mark, and I said, woo-hoo. 594 pounds of toys. Do you know how many toys that is?
It's a lot of
Me neither.
Legos.
They don't weigh a lot.
594 pounds, that's what it is. Monetary donations, $2,400. I mean, I cannot begin to express the gratitude that I have to this community for helping do so much. That's amazing.
Did the toys go to Toys for Tots or up to Cross?
Went to both,
Both. And how about the cash?
also both. Most of it was designated, so
Yeah.
actually I think all of it was designated by where they wanted it.
Okay. That's awesome.
Oh, makes my heart happy. Other things, this was all in your packet. I can certainly go through each and every single one of them. Or you can tell me if you got any questions.
I might have on one of them. Is that all of it? Or is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I gotta look on here real quick. You all talk about something else now.
I don't think I have.
Were any of these like big, have impacts otherwise, if they're additional costs? Or are they all?
I'll walk through each one. Why not? We got time. So first one, October 23rd, that was a pay request, so that is us paying Fane. We don't really have a choice. They did the work, we got paid. Change order 5, we didn't have the correct water pressure for the irrigation pump when they inspected, so updating that with a higher pressure booster pump. Change order 6, that was the pedestrian lighting, because that was eligible through the DNR grant, so to really try and get as much as we could. Change order 3, drinking fountain, so the
Did we
external-
not have a drinking
Nope.
fountain out there?
Mm-mm.
And because of the DNR grant, we could get it? Is that it, or what was it?
That is not included in part of the DNR grant, but
So-
there was discussion that because there isn't a drinking fountain on the west side,
Mhm.
it would be wise to put one over there, because the only other drinking fountain that's operable in the park is over by Snyder Field, which is right next to Domino's.
Mhm.
So to have kind of the pinwheel and to have the opportunity to get one that attaches to the building in this moment, it's cheaper to do it now.
Yeah, okay. That was where my question was.
Fair enough.
Good job.
Pay request 3, we paid Valent, that's our building contractor. And then the 25th was the wayfinding policy discussion. And then December 11th, this one's eligible for the DNR grant. It's adding 2 more embankment engagement opportunities, so it's a rope climbing on the embankment. It's that netting underneath the bridges that we had discussed. And then it was field site adjustments, because when they did the grading and trying to level everything, they had to make a couple of minor shifts. So it's just adding more poured in place, which isn't a lot, but still needs approval.
Yeah.
And that's all I got as far as this
Perfect.
goes.
Okay, good. Subcommittee miscellaneous reports, garden club report. Do we have anything?
No, Susan Nelson's ready to retire from her spot. So we have to think about that, what that's gonna mean. Kind of everybody who's willing is taking a turn. So,
Well, when I retire, next 20 years maybe, I'll count on me. Okay, so no other things to report.
Also, though, if they want to use the Garden Club Facebook page, we do have one.
And a
And we
QR
have-
code.
And we have a nursery dealer stock certificate again.
Park dedication fund.
It's going down
There you go.
because we're doing work.
For good reasons.
Yes.
That payment to Fane doesn't match, does it? Well, it's Fane and Balance.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the way that they're paid out, it's not like we're paying one check to both of them. It's just that's how it shows up in my report.
Gotcha.
I can certainly split it out more in the future if you'd like, but thank you.
We gonna have enough to finish it? Okay, just checking.
I will keep us on a tight ship,
Good job.
and I continue to try and get us more grants, so.
What's the HUD federal funds for October?
Uh,
Is that?
That was in the positive, so we got 500,000 total, that was the federal funds, through the CPF, Community Project Funding. So it was the federal funds, and we are fully reimbursed for those.
Nice.
So now we just have to close out the project, and then we're ready to rock and roll. I've also reached out to the Hennepin County grant folks, to try and start that closeout process and see what's required of that. I'm working with the DNR on that outdoor recreation grant program, still waiting for an award letter, but we're hoping to have that this week. Any other funds I'm missing?
Be nice to have a beginning balance. I think.
It would, but I'd have to math all of that because I'm basically pulling a report that wouldn't be helpful to you and then taking the data from that report that would be helpful to you, merging it into this
This
one.
is just Excel though.
I mean, I could minus it back, but
That's okay, it's not that important. So.
I just don't know that, yeah.
Yeah.
It should match, I would assume, then.
Yeah.
Do we have an estimated completion date for the park remodeling?
End of May. So, assuming everything goes as planned, I think it's the 28th of May,
That's the official.
29th.
Does it have a ceremony or something?
We would likely do a grand opening, yes. So, start thinking about what you think would be cool.
You start thinking about it and then just give us suggestions.
Yeah, we'll just pick from the three that you come up with.
Okay, don't threaten me with a good time, you know I
All right, no questions? No other business, so any other comments or anything before we adjourn? I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned.